And somehow doing that just makes that fear less powerful. It decreases in its magnitude. And this is very counterintuitive. Naturally, our mind or our ego will think that, oh, if I allow this fear to enter, it's going to destroy me. But it's actually the opposite. For me, the spiritual path boils down to, can I handle discomfort? Can I handle uncomfortable emotions when they arise? So the default reaction when we've experienced negative emotions like anger, sadness, jealousy, frustration, the default reaction is to push them away, to avoid them because they are uncomfortable to feel. We do not want to feel them. So we either push them away or we numb ourselves. We do something else so we do not have to feel that uncomfortable emotion. And we can do this numbing in so many ways. We can try to distract ourselves by scrolling on our phone. We can use food or alcohol to distract ourselves so we don't have to feel the pain of these uncomfortable emotions. And there are other ways too. For example, some people use busyness as a coping mechanism. So when they're so busy all the time, they will just not have the time to feel these emotions. So that's the default way that most people use to handle uncomfortable emotions. Well, really, they're not handling it. They are just avoiding the emotions. But for me, the biggest lesson that I have learned in my spiritual growth journey over the past many years is that to allow the emotions to come and go, to not push them away, to not resist them. And I do realize it is easier said than done, because to go against the default tendency is not easy. But because I have been practicing with smaller situations, smaller disturbances that make me just this much angry or just this much sad, I have been handling the techniques like relax and release, which is taught by Michael Singer. And all it is that when you first notice that emotion, and to be able to notice, I think you have to, meditation helps. You also have to just have moments of stillness in your life, just to even be able to notice that something is happening. Instead of just getting sucked into the emotion, to notice it from like an observer, from a higher perspective. So as soon as you notice, then relax your physical muscles, like relax whichever part is tense. So for me, what I do is when, let's say, there's just the beginning of a disturbance, and when I say disturbance, I mean an uncomfortable emotion like anger, frustration, or anxiety or fear. As soon as I notice it, and sometimes I'm successful in noticing it very soon, sometimes I notice it much later because I was so sucked into it that I wasn't able to have that higher perspective, that witness perspective. But again, with practice, this ability to notice has improved. And then as soon as I notice it, I put my attention on where I feel it in my body. And this has taken me some time also, because I didn't even have body awareness before, because I used to be so much in my head that I didn't really know what's happening in my body. But with practice, again, if I can do it, you can do it. So now, as soon as I notice that disturbance, I put my attention on where in my body am I feeling it. And for me, it's usually in the right side of my chest. And then what I try to do is the relax and release technique, which means to take deep breaths and physically relax my muscles around that area. Sometimes I may not be able to relax exactly that point where I'm feeling the tightness or the pain, or sometimes it's a burning sensation. So I would just put my attention on it and relax my muscles around it, and deep breathing helps. Sometimes I will say the mantra, I can handle it, over and over to assure myself that it's okay. Let this emotion of fear or anxiety pass through me. Don't push it away. Let's just feel it. Let's allow it to pass through us instead of pushing it away or suppressing it, repressing it. And like I said, deep breaths help. Saying, I can handle this over and over, that helps. Putting my hand on my heart, on the actual physical location where I'm feeling tight, that also helps. So I will do all these things together. And if I'm able to, I will also play spiritual music or kirtan while doing all this, because all these things together have like a stacking effect, and they help me to relax. And if I'm not able to play music, that's fine. I'll just do the deep breathing. I'll just put my hand on my heart, and I will surrender to that emotion. Instead of trying to fight it and push it away, it's like saying to that emotion, okay, I see you. For example, if it's fear, I see you. I welcome you. I allow you to pass through me. And it is really as simple as that. It is simple, but not easy to do. But with practice, by practicing with smaller things, it can become easier to do with time. So by saying to fear that I allow you to pass through me, I welcome you, I find that it usually doesn't last long when I just give it permission to go through me. It's all about going out of your head and into your body. Because if I'm in my head, I'm going to have those fearful thoughts about whatever is generating that fear, right? But as soon as I go into feeling the sensation in my physical body, which is in the area of the right side of my chest, like I said, that somehow breaks that thinking loop. And it's like surrendering to that emotion, letting it pass through me. And somehow doing that just makes that fear less powerful. It decreases in its magnitude. And this is very counterintuitive. Naturally, our mind or our ego will think that, oh, if I allow this fear to enter, it's going to destroy me. But it's actually the opposite. If you allow that fear to enter and go through you, which means that you're processing that fear, it's just a kind of energy. Let that energy move through you, because if you suppress it, it doesn't just go away. Temporarily, you might get the illusion that it went away, but it does not really go away. It gets stored in your body. And then guess what? Later on, it's going to keep coming up to be released, because that energy wants to release that energy that you push down. So surrendering to these emotions makes them go down in magnitude and last for much shorter time than if you kept on pushing them away and trying to fight them.